What is going on, everybody? It's Jew coming to you with another comic book review. And before I get started, let you know I do comic book reviews, trailer reaction, film reaction, stories, updates, just different react, just cool stuff. Like just different stuff. Anything recommended as well. So if you got anything recommended, any books recommended, films recommended, I do have to work on my film reactions. I've done a few, and then I got started getting copyright strikes. I got to learn how to edit them things pretty good, but I do want to do those. I got to work on it. But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the comic books. So I finished two series this week, and before I get to these series, I do want to talk about. I have not been uploading as many comic book reviews as I've been in the last year or so. Whatever, I'm really chilling, starting like October, but it slowed down because I ran out of stories that I wanted to read, and I at one point I was just getting first edition, number one edition, number one issue, just to try to get to a new story. Now that I'm locked in on comics, I've had to stop that because I was buying some books that they just wasn't it. So I was getting back into the comic book world last year, and then I found out, like, just calm that down. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be very selective. But I am very selective as far as you notice I haven't done a Batman or a Spider-Man or X-Men review. I've been focused on indies and Image Comics and stuff that people don't talk about. I struggle with those. But if you do have a Noah series that's coming out that I probably should be checking out, let me know, because I do want to do Marvel and DC. But I do struggle with those because there's so many of them. There's so many series. Like, you got this Batman series. You got this one. You got this one. You got Batman and Spawn. You got Batman and Turtles. You got Batman. It's too much for me to think about. But anyways, I'm going to get into these two books. And these are both by Image. The first one I finished, well, first out of the order. Anyways, I finished Torrent. Torrent is a 5-issue series from Image. It was written by Mark Guggenheim. I don't even know how to say it. Guggenheim. Mark Guggenheim. This is a series of a superhero. Actually, Image makes superhero books. Superhero, name was Crackerjack, which is weird. It was I want to say a black woman named Crackerjack. What a weird name for a superhero. Had superpowers, was living a secret life, sort of. Had a husband, had a kid, and ran into this teenager that was looking up to her and wanted to work with her. And issue 1, he made a very big mistake that caused her family, and she tried to warn him because he got injured in the middle of action, I guess, door fighting bad guys, and she told him to stay his ass home, and he didn't listen, and he hit the streets, and the main villain caught him and interrogated him to find out who the hell's Crackerjack and where she live and who's her family, and it caused chaos. And she ended up having to. They came and they did some things to her family. If you haven't read it, we'll try my hardest not to tell too much of the story, but just kind of give you an idea. They put her at rage. She was raged what this guy did, and she became. Pretty much, she was turning into the villain. She turned almost into the villain because it was almost like her emotions just took control, and she had to get back at this guy. It was doing some killing and some craziness. And anyways, it's a good story. The art is okay. The art is not too bad. And anyways, I did enjoy this story. It was actually shocking. This would actually make a very good. I think it would make a good film. I think it would. I think it would make, if they wanted to turn it into one, I think it would make one. It'd be like, then again, it might not. I can't say. This one's going to be a little bit different when it comes to filmmaking, because when they make these superhero films, they get a little weird about them. Especially lately, but I think this is a very good book. It's a very good read. It's 5 issues. It doesn't take up much of your time. It has a good dialogue. There's some drama. There's a little bit of comedy. Not too much, but it's more serious than funny. But yeah, Torrent. You should check out Torrent. If I'm saying that right, Torrent. Torrent by Image Comics. Good issue, and I finished it. I really enjoyed this book. So the other Image comic that I recently finished is Blood Tree. Blood Tree is another. Well, this is 6 issues, not 5. Blood Tree is a interesting book. It has terrible art. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sorry to the writers or the illustrators if y'all happen to see this review. I don't know if you will or not. I ain't gonna say terrible. The art is just not. It doesn't hit. It doesn't hit me. But anyways, the story is good. The story is good. This is something. This would either two things. It could make a good movie or a good series. Like if it was translated to a film, just because of the type of story it is. Basically, it's a story about a guy who's killing people and sewing wings on these people and hanging them up and killing them. So you got these detectives um, investigating, trying to figure out like what the hell is this? Who's killing people and hanging them up and really putting feathered wings, making them look like angels? And like who would do that? So, anyways, there's 2 detectives. There's Dario and Maria. They're partners, and they're investigating. And the deeper they get into finding out what's going on, it gets crazier and crazier. This guy has a weird motive behind it, and try not to tell too much. He has a weird motive behind why he's doing it. They're getting deeper, and some tragic does happen later down the line. And this guy, it's similar to that. I mean, the last one, the villain, he has this whole list of people that he's got to get. Some of it's almost legit too. Some of the reasons, some of it's legit. Some of the people he's getting is like, okay, that guy's an asshole. You know what I mean? But still, no, it doesn't warrant what you're doing to these people. And then it just got to the point where now he's digging into he's keeping up with the detectives too and their families and stuff like that. People they know is getting close now. It's starting to hit home. And yeah, so this last one really, I think this last issue got a little rushed because I guess they had to finish the story. But I had a feeling it was going to be the last issue when I read the issue 5. But yeah, it's a good story. I mean, now that he is, I'm not going to tell you what happened in issue 6 just because it'll ruin the ending. If you interested in reading Blood Tree, but it's called, I assume it's called Blood Tree because he is hanging these angels up in trees. You know what I'm saying? So some trees, all of them are not in trees, but there's a good amount. So, but yeah, this is a good read. If you haven't read it, go ahead. I guess probably next month the whole volume will come out in one, and you can just read it all straight down. Usually that's what Image Comics do, and other comic book companies do that. No, just go ahead. Let me put the whole issue in one book, and just make it volume 1. Yeah, so I do recommend to read. The art, you're not gonna be impressed with the art. I will say that. Yeah. But the story, the overall story is good. There is some dialogue issues here and there, but the overall story is good. So, Blood Tree by Image Comics, written by Tomasi. Go ahead and check it out, man. I really enjoyed this. So, yep. I will see y'all on the next one.